On a recent flight from San Marcos, Texas to Gulfport, Mississippi, I encountered a fuel management issue or a fuel distribution issue. And the aircraft was a Diamond DA50RG. And the way it's supposed to work in both the real world and the sim world, the engine is supposed to draw fuel from the left tank, and the right tank acts as an auxiliary tank. And what happens is that about every 20 minutes or so, you turn on the fuel pump to pump fuel into the left tank as it's depleted by the engine. So for some reason, my flight sim was first time, and I've flown it a lot, and for the first time it actually drew fuel from the right tank. And so I couldn't understand why my right tank was empty and my left tank was full. So it was what I did in that, I just made a command decision. Since it wasn't playing by the rules, I didn't play by the rules either. So I actually was able to top the fuel off in flight. I just went to the broke out my virtual keypad. There's a couple of ways you can do that, and I'll show you. But I used that method there to balance. Well, I tried to balance the fuel. That didn't work, of course, because there wasn't anything to balance. And I topped off the right tank. So that resolved the problem and gave me enough fuel to get to the destination of Gulfport, Mississippi. So that occurred on between two waypoints of what was that, Kirby to so HERB to LLA intersection. That's where I addressed the issue. I noticed something wasn't quite right before, but I wasn't addressing it. Real airplane, I would have addressed it sooner because I wouldn't risk running out of fuel. I did some extensive research once I landed, and I found out that that is a common problem that I'm going to address in this video. And there's a number of causes and solutions. My name is Chris. Let's get started. After performing the research and coming up with multiple solutions to the problem, the causes and solutions, I went ahead and created a wiki document, and that's what this video is going to be based on. So like in the other videos, we're going to go open up your favorite web browser and go to Pilot Savvy. So go to pilotsavvy.com and scroll down to the knowledge base. And in the knowledge base, go ahead and do a search. So a couple of ways to get there. You can find it on Tech Tuesday, because that's it talks about repairs and upgrades, etc. Well, we're just going to go here and we're going to type in that's has to do with fuel. So fuel, I think I put it on fuel. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it looked a little different there. So it's so what we're going to do here, you see I have the and this kind of sums up what I was saying earlier. Talks about during flight the engine appears to draw fuel from the right tank instead of the left tank, and I went over why already, so we'll go up to step 1 here. So we're going to just follow these through here. So first step here is verify that your fuel selector is in the right position, and the fuel selector that's on the console, and so you check that and verify, then locate. And this, I did all of this in flight. Now what emergency does there, and I did go through that process as well as my checklist when it wasn't drawing fuel. If you select emergency, then your fuel tank, your engine is going to draw fuel from the engine. In my case, it was already drawing it from the right, but I did it anyway, but it didn't work. So you can manually operate the fuel pump, and that's going to be right by the bottom left corner of your panel, instrument panel. It's emergency fuel pump. That's you normally keep that off, except take off. And there's some items on the checklist that asks you to engage it. So to the left of that is your fuel transfer on. So you're in a simulator, so you can actually do some things that you can't do in a regular airplane, in a real airplane. And I did not do this. I kind of did it, baby. I didn't do this. But what you could do is you can bring your you can balance your fuel. So let me go ahead and pull up flights so that I can kind of keep, as we're going through this here, I can share with you. Okay, so we're up and going. So let me demo here. So what did it say? I'm going to go over where I had you to look before. So this is that fuel transfer, and there we go. Yeah, I'm used to just kind of looking down and doing everything physically, should I say. So this is the fuel valve. This is the well, that's off position. We don't want that. Emergency and normal. And this is where you can flip to emergency or normal. You have an issue where fuel isn't flowing, you put on, you select emergency and rather than norm, and it should draw fuel from the right tank. So we're going to go, and hopefully you're following along with the Pilot 7 Wiki. And so manually operating the fuel pump. That's the fuel pump here. So we don't have any power, we're not going to do any of that. Not going to power this up, we don't need to. Alright, so performing fuel balance reset. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can go to the plugins, like here. You can go to the plugins, and the DA50RG options show hide, and you have a balance button. You notice here I have a full tank because we haven't flown anywhere yet, but you can balance the fuel by hitting this button. I'm going to show you here. So let's say I got this, all this tank is here, and I hit the balance button, and voila, it balances. That's balanced. It might not look balanced to us, but as far as weight and balance is concerned, that's balanced. And you can do other things to this as well. Okay, so moving right along. Oh, there, I'm going to show you the other way. I like this. This actually has some other things. It's kind of quicker. You have this pad. See, yep, you can see it here. And you go here, ground operations, and you see you have the same menu. So it's just you decide how you want to roll with this menu. That sound is the fuel truck. Let me show you the fuel truck. It wants to know if we want some gas. And there it is. I don't think we need this anymore, so I'm going to get it out of our way. Yeah, so that is jet fuel, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see if I can see that. Yeah, that's jet fuel. 1204, I think it is AF gas. And this 1863, yeah, Jet A. There we go. I used to work at a FBO, and I had to hop in whatever fuel truck they need. You have to be careful, like looking at an airplane, a Diamond, you would think, you may not be aware that it uses jet fuel because it's a reciprocating engine. It's a diesel engine. But it uses, yeah, it makes sense. Diesel is avgas, they're close to the same. So let's move right along. So it's an extensive checklist, and I did some days of research. I didn't want to just throw things together, and then I just, there's a lot of people who's having these issues. So manual operated fuel pump and perform balance. Yeah, so we're at the we did the balance already, and yeah, I've gone through all these, and I'm going to check on the next flight. I haven't done a test flight since going through this process, but there are some things that jumped out at me there. And the thing I did with adding the fuel, apparently, the worst come to worst, and it did to me. You can do that. You can use that method. Just top off the fuel. That menu I pulled up, it has an option. You saw I drag and drop the fuel where I wanted it. So I just made it full, both tanks. Well, one tank was full already. So we're gonna reload the aircraft on it. So what it's talking about here is you go here, and it describes the details what I'm showing here. Reload the aircraft, reload the current aircraft, or the aircraft art. So what it's specifying there. So reloading the aircraft, current aircraft and art. So you would choose the art as well. So you saw how we got there. We went to the developer, and then we went to the reload current aircraft and art. So that's what you want to do. All right, so we done that part. So I didn't do that, but if I fly and I'm having that problems, then I'll stop and I'll do that. And I want to avoid having to do that in a flight. I try to treat my flights as realistic as possible. I cheat sometimes, like my last leg going to Florida from Mississippi. I may kind of skirt along the coast because it's pretty, but I know that some military operations area, you can get permission to fly in operations areas, but then there's some restricted areas too, I think. So anyway, another story, another video. Okay, so what we got? Okay, so we loaded the aircraft, and now we're down. So we've done everything, and this is I already explained about described the fuel management system and how it works, and I'm primarily real world there. I flew Cessnas. I haven't flown in a while, but when I did, I flew Cessna aircraft. Now, a Cessna aircraft, it kind of spoils you as far as fuel management because it has a fuel selector valve that has the off position, left tank, right tank, or both. I don't recall ever being in a situation where I needed to do left or right tank. I would always, except when I park the aircraft and I put it on the left tank when I'm so that when I'm fueling the aircraft up, the fuel doesn't drain from one tank to another. You put it on the left tank or right tank. I chose left tank because that's what I got from my instructor, and it's just a habit. I'm sure I can do it on either one, but I put it on the left tank so that the fuel don't cross transfer from one wing tank to another. But that spoiled me. Now, when I transitioned from a Cessna to a Piper aircraft, and all the Piper pilots can attest to that, these all the Cherokees, there's left tank and right tank are off. So you have to be mindful of the fuel management on that. You have to I put it in my flight plan to check the fuel every 20 minutes or so. So to keep to prevent a dangerous imbalance problem or critical fuel imbalance, and from running out of fuel. There's been cases where pilots have actually ran out of fuel because they didn't switch tanks. They have one tank is full and one tank is empty. So the Diamond aircraft, it's going to get me out of that habit of both tanks. And so I'll just, in the days of electronics, paper is scarce. but I'll make it a point to, even if I have to use my timer, to every 20 minutes or crossing checkpoints. I know if I know it's a 20-minute leg, then when I get to that checkpoint, look down at my fuel, turn on my fuel pump. And for now, that's another thing. When you turn on your fuel pump, apparently in the real world, when you turn the fuel pump on, fuel transfer pump on, um, it actually stops when it reaches the when the tanks are even. So if you have 15 gallons and yeah, I don't want to go into those details, but it balances. It'll pump fuel out the aux tank, which is the right tank, into the left tank until those two tanks balance or evenly balanced. In the flight simulator, every time I've used that valve, I've actually inadvertently created a dangerous fuel imbalance. Diamond in the real world, they specify 9 gallons 9 gallons as being that balance point. Like if there's a 9-gallon difference between, they want you to avoid exceeding a 9-gallon difference between the two tanks. That's considered an imbalance, and it makes sense. The Diamond aircraft has a longer wingspan than your Cessnas and most of your Cessnas and Pipers. So, think weight and balance. Weight times arm equal moment. So if you got that wing tank, and one is 9 gallons off, fuel weighs 6 pounds a gallon. Well, jet fuel weighs. I'll have to look that up. I don't remember how much jet fuel weighs. That would be a test question too. Now there's an issue with the simulation logic, and one of the things, here's some prevention strategies. So pre-flight check, we already went over that earlier. Make sure that it's in the normal position. In flight monitor, regularly check the fuel. We went over that already. Check the fuel gauges. And when you think that with that fuel transfer, I have to get in the habit of watching the fuel gauge and don't let it go over the transfer, because it will. And I saw when I was doing my research, I saw some forums where there was a number of Diamond sim pilots who reported that same thing. It's not, I don't think it's supposed to do that, but it does. The flight sims are near perfect. They're pretty darn realistic, but they're not perfect. And of course, same thing with airplanes, they're not perfect. Okay, so I think we covered everything here. And if you like the video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, or if there's any, I would love to hear from a DA50RG pilot. Anyway, if you're out there and you have some pointers there on fuel management, go ahead and leave a comment. I'll be glad to hear from you. Go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any new videos that I publish. My name is Chris. Thank you for tuning in to Pilot Savvy. Bye now.